Hey guys, I'm Natalia.
And I'm Audrey.
And you're listening to the Talk Baby to Me podcast,
where we discuss everything parenthood.
From under the covers
to becoming mothers.
We will guide you through every step of the way. And I mean every step, especially the things that you didn't get to read in those cookie cutter pregnancy books.
We'll have you laughing and crying and everything in between.
Because at the end of the day, that is what motherhood is. And the best part,
we got to do it together.
And now we get to do it with you. Hey guys, it's Natalia.
And Audrey.
And welcome back to Talk Baby to Me. Today we have a very special guest, and I know I say that all the time, but I want to give you guys a little bit of information on this woman. I'm so impressed. Nicole Bilzerian.
Hi.
She has been in the music industry for 2 decades, and she recently ventured out and started her own business. Which I don't know how, because you're also a new mom. And
a brand new mom.
A brand new mom. Like, this girl's baby is 3 months old, and she's still sitting here with us today, so thank you so much.
Thank you for having me. I'm so excited to be here.
Me too.
Yeah.
We're going to pick her brain, and we are going to talk about her story because it is a good one.
Yes. So,
yes. It's been a long day.
Yes, it has really been a long day. Honestly, we've had some struggles today. But I've known Nicole for, I don't know, 10 years or something around that. And I guess we'll jump right into it. I'm just still surprised because at my wedding in November, she was hiding her pregnancy from us. And I kept being like, why does she have a jacket on? But she was hiding her pregnancy. So I can't wait to hear the story. Like, I know it personally, but like I'll interrupt and
yeah, so I'm just going to ask you straight up, Nicole.
Yes.
We usually talk about our weeks, but that's not important. When you decided that you wanted to be pregnant, tell me all about it. Just give it to me.
So I froze my eggs a month before I turned 35.
What? What? So how did you freeze your eggs?
Okay, so like a lot of women who are like diving into their careers or trying to elongate their careers, they freeze their eggs to like extend the life of potentially being pregnant. So in my mid-30s, I was like, I know I want to have a baby. Let me freeze my eggs as an insurance policy. So I did that. And for me, I actually got really lucky. The process was relatively seamless. I actually got a lot of eggs and I was like, oh, done. This is great. Insurance policy. Don't think about it ever again.
Okay. But you have to basically give yourself shots of hormones and estrogen and whatnot.
Yes, so the fertility doctor gives you like a calendar of different medications that does include giving yourself shots in your stomach. The process, around usually takes, a couple of weeks, and I only had to do 1 round. I got a lot of eggs. And
this is all like, just to interrupt you, this is all like foreign language to me because I have, and I love that you're explaining it to me because I've always wondered what the process was like. But I want to go back to really quickly how you said a woman who wants to have an insurance policy because they want to pursue their career.
Yes. It's lovely that it's way more known now to do this.
It is, but it's also like the pressure on a woman. Like, we have to think about things like that, whereas men really don't. And I'm not trying to be feminist real quick, but like I love
a good feminist.
I know, but I wanted to just be like, that is such an amazing thing to point out for other women listening. Like, it's so cool that we have that option, right? Whereas in the past, I mean, technology has advanced so much, and we have these opportunities to be able to like have that insurance policy. So just a really big kudos to you for even bringing that up like that.
And as a side note to that, when I did it, it was right before insurance was covering it. And now it's pretty much widely accepted where a lot of the insurance companies do include, fertility, freezing eggs, all that type of stuff in their policies.
Oh, wow.
So, unfortunately, when I did it, I had to pay out of pocket. But
that's, you know what?
I'm in a position.
Write a letter.
I'm in a position where I was able to do that, and unfortunately, a lot of women aren't. So we could do a whole other episode on insurance. But anyway,
don't get me started. Like series of Nikki. Her name is Nikki Bills to me, so Nicole.
Yeah, no, you guys, we've talked about that because we also got into like after you have your baby and how you have to go back to the doctor and how it's crazy. But we could come back to that.
Yeah.
So to let you keep going, you started the process to freeze your eggs, which was a variety of shots.
Yeah, so they have to like prepare your body to create, follicles that, are become eggs, and it's like a very scientific. There's nothing sexy about it. It's really just science. Okay.
Science is sexy.
Science is sexy. So
science guy.
We have toddlers.
No, so it took when I did that, it was a few weeks of taking medications. You go in for an egg retrieval, and they, take out the eggs that you have created. They test them. They see which of them, are viable. And then they put them on ice. So I did that, and I was like, great.
Oh my gosh.
I'm good.
Crazy.
They iced your eggies.
I have a lot of friends that have frozen their eggs, but I've never asked like the whole process. So this is great.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. I'm literally like blown away.
You know what is one fun fact with that process? So you have to mix certain medications, and every woman has like a different protocol, whatever. But most women, there are medications that you have to mix. So they send you home with like, here are the vials of medication, and you put this into that, and then you inject yourself. And I'm like, well, I'm not like a nurse. I'm not a doctor. What if I do this wrong?
What if I put too much into this one?
And one of the nurses, I'll never forget it, said to me, women much less intelligent than you have done this, so you'll be fine. And I was like, oh,
do that a man doing this though? Like,
no, a man would never.
I mean, a man, I meant DJ.
I meant DJ. So listen, the whole process is actually quite intriguing. So I love that you just discussed that, because there was an episode of American Horror Story, right? Where I guess the girl is trying to have a baby. I don't fucking know. There's like little vials.
Oh yeah, and you have to like mix the medication.
Yeah,
I saw that.
You know what I mean? I mean, I didn't watch the whole thing because I cringed. I cringed. I couldn't watch it because I was like, oh no. It was don't watch it. Just don't watch it.
Anyways,
if you have watched it, tell me the rest. I don't want to watch it. So okay. Vials, you did the medication, you injected yourself. Ouch, by the way, just the idea of doing that.
Yeah. You get used to it, but yeah, it's a whole thing.
I do it with vitamin B, so I'm like,
I just swallow pills.
Not that many of them.
Oh, no. Oh, I got weird real quick.
Listen.
I meant vitamins.
Listen,
right.
It's usually my job to interrupt, but not doing my job today.
This is a really good conversation.
I know, it really is.
Okay. So, fast forward, 3-month-old, went through the process to freeze your eggs, and then now let's continue.
Okay, so, like I said, I did that years ago, put them on ice, didn't think about it again. When I was getting closer to 40, I was like, okay, I really want to do this. And I spoke to my doctor about it, and I was like, I'm ready, let's go. I thought it was going to be relatively easy, because for me, I got lucky with the egg freezing being really easy. So I was then told, okay, we're going to just do a little checkup and make sure everything's good. Turns out I had a series of issues. I ended up having polyps and then a fibroid that was restricting basically like the blood that would go to the baby. So it was like partially in my uterus and partially in the uterine cavity. So they're like, well, we have to try to remove it, or like do what we can to get this out before we proceed.
Can you tell me really quickly, what is polyps?
They're just like, I don't even know, like little cysts.
They're like little, almost like a cyst. They're like little blood-filled sacs.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. You can get them anywhere.
Right.
But yeah.
Oh, liquid filled. Like, I think I've heard of this before.
You can get them anywhere, but but it's
it was in a very bad place for
and
you
a lot.
Yeah.
The fibroid.
Well, so the polyps were first for me. I had 2 surgeries to get those removed. Then I did my first IVF cycle, and lucky for me, 2 days before I was supposed to have my transfer to implant the embryo, I caught COVID. So a month's worth of taking medication just went down the drain, and I had to
and it's
start
not
all over.
It doesn't, the medication, does it make you, what does it make you feel? Because I know that a lot of people that do these injections or this medication, they feel shitty, or they feel, almost like when you first get pregnant and you feel like fucking shit.
How did your body react to that? And then we'll get into the COVID, because that fucking sucks. But like,
well, because that really sucks to do a whole month of it, and then
just it went to nothing. But
we're like, let's just make her cry.
No. Listen, it's fine. No, so I mean, for me, the medications, for me physically, the medications weren't that bad. I mean, I honestly looked at it earlier. We were talking about like A-type personalities. I'm very A-type. I just literally looked at it like another job. So it was like, at this time I take this, at that time I take this. I go in for my blood work this day. I literally looked at it like a scheduled job. So I don't know if that just helped me get through it or what, but I kind of managed it that way.
And you also, I feel like you kind of were still working at the time too.
Yeah.
So you were probably really busy. So you were just kind of like going through the daily tasks and getting through it. So you probably didn't really. I totally
stopped to think how it was.
And not really telling people about it. Right?
No, I hadn't told. I had told a few people when I was trying the first time, but I didn't tell many people. Yeah. But so I had 2 of the surgeries to remove the polyps. Went through a month of an IVF cycle to have it just go to shit because I caught COVID. Then, I took a little break, went on a vacation, and I came back, and then my doctor told me, oh, well, your polyps are gone, but you have a fibroid. And I was like, great. So then I had 2 surgeries to help get rid of that fibroid. And then he was like, okay, I think it's good. You're in the clear. You can start it. You can try again.
So, and just again, for the audience, just a fibroid, give us a little bit of what that is and how it worked. And I mean, obviously, we know what honestly, is, just to,
No, I mean, I probably should even know more about this. I was just kind of going through the motions, but it's just like, it's a mass that was in my, partially in my uterine cavity, partially in the uterus, which is basically where the baby goes. So if I was to get pregnant with it there, that would suck up all of the nutrients in the blood that should be going to the baby. Oh, so they want that to be gone, obviously. Yeah. So I had a couple surgeries, 2 surgeries for that. And then he's like, okay, you're ready to try again. Great. So I did another cycle. This was when I was still, working at a major label. And
is that what we call them when we don't want to say what the name is?
No, I can tell you. No. And so I was lucky that I did get pregnant. But unfortunately, I miscarried after 6 weeks.
Oh my God. I clapped way too soon. I was like,
it's okay.
I feel like, because I know the story a little bit, but then I'm like,
no, imagine it's your first time hearing it. I'm literally like, oh.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so I'm so
at 6 weeks.
I was just over 6 weeks.
I'm so sorry.
Thank you. I was just over 6 weeks. I miscarried. It happened to be in December. It happened to be when I was getting ready to leave that job and doing my exit interviews. And then 2 weeks later, right before Christmas, I caught COVID again. So right after miscarrying,
I probably had COVID at the same exact time you did because I had it twice too.
Right after miscarrying, I caught COVID, and I was like, "This is like I don't even know what to do with any of this." Because
life
is literally shitting on me.
Life is lifing. No, life is lifing. And I just want to ask you, really, because you're sitting here today, and I know you're a very strong individual. I know it, but. How did you get through the emotions of that alone? Because I know that wasn't easy.
No, that one was hard. The miscarriage was hard because one, at that point I had already been in this process for a year, so it was taking longer than I thought it would. I was a bit naive in terms of what I thought the process was. And you had 3 other surgeries that you didn't know. By that time, I had 4 surgeries.
Yeah, so that's crazy.
And so. Obviously, I was deflated. I was disappointed. You get the what is it? The sonogram that shows you
because I have goosebumps. I'm not lying. Because it was just the worst time I've ever had in my whole life.
I mean, you see what is gonna be. You start thinking of the name, and then even though it's only 6 weeks along, it's just obviously
your
heartbreaking.
Whole body, your whole life changes.
Yes,
in 6
Okay.
I'm I can't.
So anyway,
I get too emotional.
We'll bring it back up.
Yeah, okay.
We'll bring it back up. So
I'm gonna cry.
After all of that, going into the top of last year, 2023, I had my last and final fibroid surgery. Then they had put me, and again, this is just me and my protocol to be sure, they'd put me on this medication that lasts about 6 weeks. that tricks your body, and well, it doesn't trick your body. It lowers all the estrogen in your body to try to get rid of any like foreign object that could be there.
What do you know what it's called?
I'm just Lupron Depot is what I was given. And but the fun fact about that is your body basically thinks it's in menopause because it's lowered all the estrogen.
Yeah.
So I was getting hot flashes.
Oh,
I'm like, great, now I know what I'm in for down the road.
Oh, by the way, those don't go away. I'm still waking up in sweats, and I'm like, what the hell is going on?
No, but you're not in menopause.
No, but when I got pregnant and then when I had the baby, I still went through the same
Actually, you
kind of
texted
thing.
me one time, and she was like, is hot flashes normal? I'm like, yeah, well, if they aren't, like, I'm getting them, so we're...
No, I didn't even, to be honest, I'm so oblivious to the menopause thing, but like I didn't even know, but I know the hot flash symptom, and for me, it didn't go away. No, it still happens.
So you had hot flashes on top of flushing your body out of...
Yeah, flushing my body out of everything. But I'm in hindsight, I'm glad that we took that extra step because it really ensured, again, for me, that the fibroid was gone.
Yeah.
So once all of that was done, my doctor was like, okay, if you're ready, we can try again. I said, great. So then,
I love your doctor, by the way. He just seems like such a person that's there, you know?
Yeah,
like, hey, I'm here, I'm present.
But with all I was going through, he had to be. But no, he was great. And so then basically I tried again. So this was my third IVF cycle, and I told nobody. I didn't even tell my family.
Okay.
Because I just didn't want to get people's hopes up. I work-wise, I didn't want people to know.
It's hard to say if something bad happens. It's hard to go back.
Well, yeah, and you just went through that already, so you probably were like, let me just...
Yeah, so I literally did this whole cycle without telling anybody. I went in for my embryo transfer. I mean, I was like literally doing things that they probably advise against because after these procedures, like you're not supposed to drive, so they want someone to like pick you up. But I would be like, can I take an Uber? Because I literally didn't want to tell anybody.
Yeah.
I'm just a little...
I get it.
You're also very independent. So like,
no, I was going to say type A.
Yeah,
like, I don't need anybody. I'll call an Uber before I call a friend to pick me up. Like, I got this. I have control.
Yeah.
You can pick me up now, Uber. But like, calling a friend is like still not in my control.
Right.
What if they say no? I don't want to hear it.
Yeah.
Like, I know an Uber will come. You know what I mean?
So true.
I get it.
Yes.
Oh my God. So I did this cycle, and thankfully, it stuck, and I got pregnant officially. Like, yes, I said we can clap. And then I can't even remember now. I think it was after like once I was like maybe 6 weeks along. No, it wasn't even that. It might have been 12 weeks when I finally told my family.
Yeah, I think it was only 12 weeks.
Yeah, it was like I waited a while. And then I told like a couple close friends, but I really kept it quiet for 2 reasons. One, I still didn't know. You're always thinking like, what if, right? So there was still a danger zone of like, if I miscarry again, I don't want to explain it to everybody.
And how old were you when it stuck?
How old was I?
Yeah.
I was 41. And
I think that's like also a thing because they consider a geriatric.
Oh yeah, if you're over 35.
So because I'll be geriatric. Like I'm 37. Yeah. On my next pregnancy, like.
Hold on. Give a little more context on that. So what you have to, when you're a certain age, it becomes a what pregnancy?
It's geriatric. So they basically, it's almost like a high risk. It's not high risk, but they do so much more and they say so much more to you.
Oh.
And there's more testing.
So like you're obviously always heightened.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My sister went through that, and I remember being like, we were pregnant at the same time. Everything I did was so opposite or different from what they would say to her, and it was always so weird.
Right.
Yeah,
the age difference.
Yeah. Just because you're over 35.
Yep. Yeah. There was definitely more testing. Like, once when I was pregnant, we had to do things like a fetal echocardiogram to make sure like his heart was developing. It was basically a bunch of extra tests because
basically they just wanted to keep you in the dot. Go insurance.
Yeah, exactly. Even though, by the way,
they charge your ass for that all day.
Yeah, they do. No, but
you get a bill later. Like I don't have to pay for it, but I see the numbers.
Yes, those big numbers. No, but even though my body was 41, I was using a 34-year-old egg. as half of the embryo, right?
I forget. Oh my gosh. See,
so
there's too much. There's so many layers to this.
I know.
But that's what makes it so good because I love that you just said that. That's a segue into that part where it's like, hey, I made the decision on what and how. And you can keep going. Yeah.
I don't even know where I was with my story.
We were talking about how you had to go. It stuck
because it's a 34-year-old thing.
Yes, and so I didn't tell anybody. One, because like I said, I didn't know if it would really stick, like for real, and I was nervous. Yeah. But also professionally, I had just left a job that I was at for 10 years, or a company that I was at for 10 years, and I decided to start my own business. My intention initially was not to be pregnant and start a business at the same time. That's just how it all unfolded.
Yeah.
But I had a real fear of, like, are people not going to want to work with me because they know I'm about to have a baby? And are they going to make assumptions about my time rather than giving me that opportunity? So I kept it a secret until I was 6 months.
Like until I couldn't
hide it anymore.
Yeah, until you couldn't keep it a secret.
And I have to say, I still stick by the way that I did things, but my fears were completely alleviated because when I did tell people, there was so much love and support. I actually was really surprised at a lot of men that I know who reached out to be like, oh my God, congratulations, this is great for you. And I was just like, oh wow, maybe I didn't give people enough credit, thinking that they were going to make kind of a bad assumption when the support was really amazing.
But that's based off societal norms.
Yeah. Exactly.
So like, and that's what we're fighting, right? Like,
that's so good to hear though. That's I hope if anyone is in that same space, it kind of inspires you to open up about it, because in reality it's such a big deal.
Yeah.
Like bringing another life into this world and like carrying and creating a baby, and like it shouldn't be looked at as like, oh, you don't have the time. Like, and unfortunately, again, society does put that pressure on women where even today, like having a toddler sometimes and you're on a Zoom meeting and you hear the background and you have to apologize for it. Like, no.
Yeah.
I'm able to juggle a lot more than you are. Sorry. But like I am. I'm like
boss.
I'm like it's actually amazing. Yeah. So it's really good that you got a positive response and generous support. Yeah.
Yeah, it was incredible. I was pleasantly surprised.
Yeah.
And then so for 3 months essentially, I was pregnant publicly, and it took people a lot to like wrap their brain around. Wait, you're having a baby in 3 months? I'm confused.
I was just like, I just go back to my wedding videos and I'm like, oh, can I see it? I can't.
She's all trying to zoom into a video like, I kind of can see it. Yeah, that's so funny.
Yeah.
I have to ask you a quick question. Just to interrupt again. Did you tell your trainer, because this girl works out every single day? I could tell. Like,
no, he had to know. Yeah, he was one of the few people who did know, obviously, because
he had to be careful.
She's a fitness inspo. Like, listen, I was like, Nikki, you're like working out every day, and then I was like, when I found out you're pregnant, I was like,
what's happening?
Yeah.
No, but you and I have talked about this. Working out before getting pregnant and during pregnant and now after being pregnant is a game changer. Yes. For anyone who can do it, like if you are able to exercise while you go through this process, it makes
it's for your mental health
difference. Yeah. Mental health, recovery, just everything.
Yes. Yeah. Everything. Like I'm a big advocate of that. Like,
yeah.
Yes. Okay, I'm not interrupt you again. But
no, you actually are doing so good. Can we give a round of applause to Audrey? She's killing it. She's doing so good. And I'm biting my tongue because I want to interrupt a lot today.
And because I know the story.
Yeah. No, and I'm like, tell me more. But yes, okay. So working out, 100%. Okay. Yeah. Even to this day, it's like, if you find the time you have to.
I have to do it.
Yeah.
I will.
Yeah. I stopped for a while. Just to give you a little context, I stopped for a while because I'm trying to like put on fat.
Okay.
Not like muscle, just like fat. And
she had an explant, and so she's getting those boobies back.
I'm trying to put the fatty of the boobie in the boobie.
Got it.
Anyway, long story short, I was in a massive depression.
From not working out.
From not working out. Yeah. I'm like, it's not worth it.
Yeah.
Gaining weight.
So then you're like 6 months, sorry, I'm not trying to cut you off, but I'm getting back on track. Look at me. So
I know I was gonna get back on track.
6 months, and then.
Well, so she was pregnant.
But when you're 3 months only publicly pregnant, we had another friend that didn't announce it for a long time. Remember Sin? And she talked about her journey on here. But do you feel like because you got the validation, you didn't have long enough time to like be pregnant publicly? Like you want to hide a secret, or like?
No, I was fine. I think I was fine about it. Yeah.
You're like 3 months is a long time. It's your last trimester.
Well,
my least favorite one.
It was also when there was so much going on because the top of the year, you know, there's just like a lot of like award shows and events and stuff. So I was out, and I was just glad that I could be pregnant out and not have to hide it still, you know?
Yes, I know. I saw this girl in heels at like 9 months pregnant. I was like,
it was the last time. The Grammy weekend was the last time I wore heels pregnant. I was like, I'm not doing this again.
No, but see,
and then you went out the next day. I saw you.
That's the boss. That's what I'm saying. And I hate to say boss babe because it's so like the word. It's kind of over.
Cringy,
you know what I mean? It's kind of cringy at this point, but like it's inspirational. Like you're out there on the freaking in the Grammys, like
doing it yourself,
doing it on your own, in heels, 9 months pregnant, like
with a new job.
And also starting your own venture and starting your own things. Like that's great. Like you were able to do it, and now. Again, I'm still shocked she has a 3-month-old at home and she's sitting here with us.
Yeah.
Well, lucky enough, I mean, I was able, thankfully, I got a part-time nanny 2 weeks ago, which has been a huge help because, you know, doing it on your own, you know, it's great to say, and I am doing it on my own, but as everyone knows, it takes a village, and I was very lucky to have my mom came out for a month. She was here for my delivery, and then, you know, for a month with my son. And then my sister and my niece came out for a week, and then my dad and his girlfriend came out for a week. So I had family help for, I don't know, a month and a half-ish, 2 months. I had a few weeks where I literally was doing it all on my own, and I was doing exactly what you had. I would show up to Zoom meetings, like holding him up, like, sorry guys, you know, but
sorry, not sorry.
Right. But now, you know, having the help is critical.
Yeah, and I was just talking about this with her earlier because this is our first time actually meeting. And I wanted to make sure everyone that was listening like understands like I'm just getting to know you as they are.
Yeah.
And I thought to myself like one of the biggest things is having a hand. Yes. Like you can be bathing your son and you need a towel.
Yeah.
You might not have the hand to get the towel. So just being able to say, hey babe, like grab the towel, or hey Rachel, my nanny's name's Rachel, like go get the towel. Like having a person or hand is like actually so, it does take a village, but if you don't have a village, but you have a hand, it's such a big thing to have it. And so I'm so glad you found the help. And you said 2 weeks ago, have you seen like yourself
a difference?
Yeah.
I mean, it's definitely helpful during the day. Like I can come and do this, you know, or I can go out to meetings and not take him with me.
Or you can Zoom.
I can Zoom without baby, right? So it's so helpful just having that to be able to focus on work and focus on him. And I have even noticed, and I guess this is an obvious thing that wasn't so obvious to me, but even knowing that, okay, these hours I have the help and I can focus on my business, and then when I go into kind of mommy mode, I'm just so more attentive with him and more present with him, and I'm not trying to juggle all the other things in the back of my mind.
Yeah. Which is such a hard topic.
Yeah. It's been really great.
When you don't have, and I'll let you, I feel like you were about to say something at the same time.
Only because I want to go through your birthing process because it's such a big story. So whatever we're going to say, I just want to make sure we get this in because that's a whole nother story.
Yes, we're going to get into it. But just for anybody listening, like it's nice to be able to compartmentalize work, mommy mode, and have some sort of support so that you can get through the both of them. And then now I'm actually more intrigued about your birth story. So if you want to get into that.
Sure. Sorry.
No, I love that. It's good. She's me today, you guys. Audrey has taken over me.
I just say ethnicity all day.
So going back to what you had mentioned about geriatric pregnancies, I was being highly monitored because I was over 35. Crazy.
I kept on asking her, like, are you kidding me?
So I unfortunately had developed high blood pressure towards the end of my pregnancy. And obviously they want to monitor that for preeclampsia and all other complications. So my doctor and I was literally monitoring it at home daily, and it got to a point where she was like, okay, I don't like this anymore. I think you should go in for an evaluation. So I knew I was going to have to get induced. I just didn't know how early. So, you know, I was trying to live my life. My mom was coming in. I wanted to go run errands, and I was like, yeah, I'll go in like tomorrow night. You know, I kind of was laissez-faire about it. So,
well, because how far along were you?
I was
37 weeks?
Yes.
I'm like,
I was 37 weeks. Yes,
I would check on her like daily
because I ended up going 2.5 weeks early. So yeah, about 37 weeks. Yeah. So I go in to Cedars on a Saturday evening, and we did pack the car just in case. But I was like, they're just going to tell me I have high blood pressure and send me home. I get in within 30 minutes. They're like, okay, we're admitting you. And I was like, what? And I was so mad because I just wasn't mentally ready. And my mom was happy, which made me more mad.
Yeah.
And I was like,
I totally get it.
My mom was like, we're having a baby. And I was like,
if that happened to her, she'd be like, listen, you're staying there.
I'm the same. I'm like, hold up. You're not having the baby.
Yeah.
I am.
Absolutely not.
So, when I say.
Yes. So, I was like, okay, I'm going really early.
So you couldn't go home?
Couldn't go home.
That's crazy.
I know. So.
Yeah, it's like the control, too. It's like, hold up. I gotta go get some stuff. No, you can't leave. What?
Yeah, I'm like, thank God I had put stuff in the car.
Yeah, see, that's good. You're prepared, yeah.
But funny enough, when they moved me into my labor and delivery room, I immediately thought of you because I did get a good room, and I know that it's like hit or miss.
She like would ask me, because we know, if you listen to the show, like my delivery room, I got depression from my rooms.
Yeah.
And so she was like, asking me about Cedars. So it's like, just, I don't know how to tell you, but like, just so you know, you'll be okay if you do get depression.
Well, yeah, because Audrey had like a room that was very
a dungeon.
Yeah. Go back to
a dungeon, and then my baby died, and then like
it was okay. Well, Audrey, but yes, and so you got.
So I got a good room, so I was like, okay, I'm not so mad anymore. You know, that lifted my spirits. So, essentially.
I gotta see these rooms.
I got into the hospital at like 7:30, and they were ready to start my induction at midnight. So what I went through with my induction was they started me off with the Foley balloon, which I also knew in advance that I was getting, but I don't think I really wrapped my brain around what it was. And when I had that done, I was like, oh,
can you say the name of the balloon?
It's a Foley balloon.
A Foley balloon. Is that the one that?
Yes.
Expands it.
Yeah. So
it sounds.
You didn't hear me, but what I was saying is like insertion and expansion.
Yes, and the purpose is to get you dilated from basically 0 to like 3 centimeters.
Yeah.
So
that sounds
I thugged it out for like 2 hours, and then I was like, I'd like some medication, please.
I love that for you. I love that for you.
And so I mean that was at that point I was like, oh, this is the height of painful, right? So I get the medication, and then...
Which medication?
Fentanyl. We had this conversation.
Oh, thank.
That's the pain management.
Injected? Or how?
Yes, through my IV.
Through your IV.
Yeah.
Because that's, remember, I was like, I'm not overdose.
Yeah.
But I was like, I
don't care.
I got an injection in the booty. I got morphine first.
Yeah, you got morphine. I forgot.
But
we talked about fentanyl, so, and we'll talk about that again at some point, but that's crazy. But you got it, and it helped.
Oh, yeah. Like, then I was like, okay.
Regulated doses, guys. Like,
yes,
in a
all
good
regulated. It's so scary because you just don't. It's not something that I've ever heard of about giving birth. I never knew that was a thing.
Yeah.
That's why it was really surprising.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Yeah. Same. And that's why I was trying to like get through it without it. And then I was like, no, like there's no way I'm doing this anymore.
Yeah.
So
it hurts. Right?
Yeah.
Real bad. Real bad.
So that part of the induction worked for me. It got me to 3 centimeters. Great. Then they're like, okay, we're going to give you a little break, and then we'll start your Pitocin. And I knew I was going to do an epidural, so we're going to do the epidural as well. I was like, fine. So I did that, and for that whole day, I felt great. I had the epidural. The Pitocin was supposed to be doing its thing. I was chilling.
Yeah.
No problems.
I love, by the way, just interrupting you because I'm Audrey today, that you had a plan like that. You're like, I knew I was doing an epidural. I knew I was it. And I'm like, God, you are
plan after plan.
I did. Yeah,
I know. I love
you
it
plan
though
as much as you can.
Yeah, you plan till you can no longer plan, right? When
Yes.
you're there, you're like, hey, throw the plans out the window, which is what I did.
Yes.
I had a plan D. Okay.
She did. I was like, I have no plan.
I was like, flip the page if we pass it. Keep going. There's more pages. They're laminated. You'll know exactly where I'm at. Like, I'm
love
crazy.
that. I love that.
100% she did that. I was like, what?
Canva, I will send you the document. No, I'm not kidding. So it's really good that you were like,
No, I had a birth plan, but I didn't laminate mine. You're way better than me.
here's a dry erase pen so you can make notes. The eraser's on the back.
I was like, anyhow.
I love that.
Yes.
So that day, I was chilling. Then they come to me in the evening, and I had not progressed at all. So they're like, okay, we can either just continue to wait it out, or we can do something where they insert a tube that goes near the baby's head in the womb so that they can monitor him while I'm contracting. So I was like, okay. And they're like, just like with anything, like, there's chance of infection, but like it's a regular procedure we do all the time. So I was like, great.
Basically, like, you should do it because, like, there's like a really low percentage you would get this.
Right.
Okay.
But I had been sitting there at that point for, I don't even know, 10 hours and not progressing. So I'm like, well, sure, let's try something, So I say yes to that. And
what is that process called?
I don't know.
Okay.
I honestly don't remember. It was just another tube that they...
Yeah, I never heard of it until you told me.
Yeah.
That was just crazy.
It's okay, we'll Google it and we'll maybe add it in the caption if we post this part.
And so, of course, I would be the one to catch the infection, basically. So that night, I had a fever, I had sweats, I was miserable. And at that point, I was like, oh, this is even worse than the Foley balloon. So I was like, that was nothing. This is awful. So I had a really bad night. They had to give me medication to bring the fever down. And then by the next morning, I had progressed to 5 centimeters. Great. Then I went to 8, and then I went to 10, and they're like, okay, we're ready to deliver. Excellent. I had the epidural. I was able to deliver the baby. So excited. He's here. Yay.
Oh, good.
Tears.
I got very lucky. I only needed 1 stitch.
Oh, okay.
Because I was very worried about that, by the way. But
I feel like I've made everyone worried with my stitching.
I think women worry about it in general, but that's a whole other thing,
I'm gonna be honest. I was worried about so many other things that I didn't even think about this.
It's like the only thing I was worried about.
Yeah. So I was on another level of like the book.
Yeah.
I didn't think about the stitches.
This is why we talk about
this. That's why we need to update the fucking book.
Yes.
Go.
Yes.
Okay, keep going.
No. So I delivered him. Everything was great, and unfortunately, my uterus didn't contract to deliver the placenta. So my doctor had to go get the placenta. Okay, that wasn't comfortable, but did it, done, fine.
But they push it out of you, right?
Yeah, they like press on your stomach and like go in and grab it and oh yeah.
See that? You get it.
Yeah.
Hold on, I'm so sorry though. Like fudge, man.
Yeah. I mean,
I'm trying to keep it PG. I know I've already dropped the F-bomb like 5 times today, but I'm trying. See, I'm catching myself. It's progress. Okay. No, damn.
Yeah. So,
gosh dang it. Shucks. Anyhow,
bicycle. Okay, so, I'm done. Keep going.
So
for children.
Then I'm good again, right? Then I'm all good, and they give you the golden hour, and you're hanging out, and everything's fine. So they keep coming and checking on you.
You have a baby.
Yes, you have a baby, and so they kept checking on me, and they were like, there was a moment where there was a doctor who was, doing her check on me. And she's like, so I think you still have some, like blood and clots like in there that we have to get out. She's like, I'm just going to call a few other doctors or a few other people, to come in. I was like, okay. And I didn't really realize what was kind of happening. And so all of a sudden there's like 7 or 8 other medical professionals in the room. And this woman, is got her hand in me. And this other doctor says, okay, so when she removes her hand, we think that you're going to hemorrhage. So if you need a blood transfusion, are you okay with that? And I was like,
You're like, no, let me die on the table. Like,
what?
What are you
Hold
saying?
on. I need a visual because
We're never going to get through your story.
No, we will, because this is actually how people listen to stories. They want to hear.
No, I want to hear it too. I'm just like, we have so much.
Yeah.
Well,
it's crazy because it all happened to you.
I know.
But I want a visual because it's like, I want to paint the picture for the audience, right? So you're in the room, you just had your baby, you're holding your baby. There's all these other. Are you holding?
No, my mom is in the chair next to me holding my son. I'm just on
you're
the
chilling
bed,
on the bed, and then
they're
all this
checking
is happening
on me,
around
right?
you.
So they kept checking. I think they always check on you multiple times after delivery, but specifically because of my placenta issue, they wanted to make sure everything was out.
Yeah.
And so apparently not everything was out. So they had to make sure it got removed.
Yeah.
And they expected that I was going to lose a lot of blood. So I said, yeah, of course, like if I need a transfusion, do it. And then the doctor turns to my mom and asks my mom if she wants to leave the room.
Gosh.
Because I think they do that because when people get squeamish and with blood and stuff.
She was able to take the baby too?
She was with the baby, but she stayed. She was like, I'm not leaving.
Did they ask you about the blood? Did they ask you about the blood transfusion when her hand was inside of you?
Yes. Yes.
Huh.
I know.
It's very interesting.
Do you want to die or do you not want to die?
Whoa, that's not funny. But it's funny because you're alive, so everything's good. But
and so thankfully, honestly, so I did lose a lot of blood, but thankfully I didn't need the transfusion. They were able to, mitigate the whole situation. But when they were doing that process, you're bleeding and they're like poking on you and doing all these things. That F the Foley balloon, F the fever and the infection, that was the most painful. And again, they're like, well, we can, we have pain management for this, fentanyl. And I was like, yep. I was like, go right ahead. Like, whatever you have to do, because it was,
push it in.
It was, that was definitely the most excruciating
proper way to use the drug.
Yeah, I mean, awful. You have somebody's like, listen, we already
and the
have
epidural.
2 hands in that. Like, I don't want another one in there.
Yeah.
No,
it was a lot. It was a lot.
And then the epidural already had worn off at this point.
Yeah, they took it out, right?
They take it out, yeah. So we got through that, though, and I did not need a transfusion. And finally, at that point, they were like, okay, like, we're going to let you chill for a little bit, and then we'll take you to your postpartum room. So I got through that night. We went to the postpartum room. Everything was fine. Unfortunately, when they tested my son, he had caught the infection that I had while he was in my body. So they had to give him an IV just to get rid of the infection for him.
Which is just so sad to see our baby. Like, it's so hard when they do like
your first moments as a mommy.
Yeah.
And your first moments of like,
traumatic.
Yeah, your first moments of like being like, this is my baby, and now you have to see him going through physical pain, or going through like, oh goodness, I can only imagine.
It was tough.
Yeah.
But other than that, he was perfectly healthy and fine and all the things.
How much did he weigh?
He was, oh my God, I forget now.
I always
7 pounds. No.
Ella was like
7 pounds, 7 ounces?
Oh, yeah. Okay. Ella was like 6,
I think.
9 point.
No, that makes sense. That's about average. So, yeah, I mean.
I think he was 7. I think he was 7'7".
Okay.
I can't remember. He was 20 inches long.
I was 7'7".
Lucky number, I guess.
In weight, definitely not height.
Yeah, no, bitch, you're short.
Yeah. You know what?
Where was I gonna go?
So
he was totally fine and healthy, and I think that was.
He got a little jaundice, like.
Oh
later.
yeah,
because Ella had to be in an incubator in our room, but this one had like such a crazy thing that I was like, whoa.
It's so I'll have to show you the photos after. So
yeah, send them to me.
They literally
send them to me.
No, they
with your permission.
They sent what's called a Billy blanket to my house. It came in this hard case, like it was like from the Secret Service or something. And
like you open your door,
yeah,
there's like a
and it was like an at-home incubator basically that I could put. I would wrap him in. All day, all night. And we had it for about 2 days, to get his bilirubin numbers level, which I didn't even know what these things were until I was going
the
through
fact
this.
that you're saying bilirubin,
I was like,
don't
what
even
is that?
know.
Ella was so elevated, but so were DJ and I. So it's basically like it's what turns you yellow. Your liver, your kidney. I can't remember, but basically your numbers are much more elevated. But it happens to so many babies.
So many babies. Yeah.
It's common.
It is common.
So it's okay, but it's still kind of like again, first time mom. You know,
Ella was in an incubator, and you couldn't touch her. And you couldn't touch her, and she'd cry, and you could only stick your hand through. It was like
through the circle that
in my dungeon room.
Oh my goodness. But I will say, did you live at Cedars too?
No, we have tried to decide if she was like
it was Cedars. It was Santa Monica, UCLA Santa Monica.
Because I will say it's funny. My mom kept calling.
I was
the hospital.
Born there.
Oh,
so you know, I was born.
You're like, I know her. No, my mom kept calling the hospital the Four Seasons. She was so impressed by
You're
the
like,
hospital.
Listen to Audrey, Mom.
But this, I will say, shout out to the labor and delivery staff at Cedars. I thought they were phenomenal. All the doctors, nurses.
I mean, they saved all the time.
Right.
Soups emotional stuff. And the nurses.
Yes.
The nurses that were
they were
London?
great.
Is London your nurse? She loved her nurse.
Yeah. I still have to get
But yeah, no, first of all, I was like, I can't pee. And she's like, I promise you I have 3 babies. You can do it after birth. I was like, I cannot.
That's so good, though. Thank you for shouting them out. Sometimes I feel like we got to send these podcasts to them. You know, like, you know, they're there. They're there.
They do it all.
If you have a great experience, like,
they do it all. They
I feel like I've only ever heard good things, so.
Yeah. Yeah, no.
I do want to write a letter about your dungeon room, and I do want to write a letter to.
I already told them about my dungeon room.
I'm not done with my letters.
Or when they told DJ that he can't take a picture of me when he was letting me off.
Yeah. By the way,
that's weird.
Did your mom take like videos and pictures and stuff?
Oh no. So I had a strict policy with my mom, and I will say I love her for this because she actually did adhere to the policy.
Okay.
Which was, you are like face up.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? So she...
Yeah, I did that too.
It didn't work. Yeah. But no, she... we took pictures after the fact, and I made her take them with my phone so that I had control over the phone.
This is my girl right here. I give Mo my phone too.
Like, no. I'm like, I don't even know.
No, I was like, here's my phone. And this is really funny. I'm sure
This is how you guys both run your own businesses now. I run my own too. But like,
you do.
Willy-nilly.
No, all of us have a little piece of that.
Yeah.
It's just everyone's different, and then the story that you've given us has been just so incredible. Just again, I know I was not disappointed.
I feel like we usually keep these episodes to like 35 minutes, but there's not any chance we could have, because not even with the interruptions could we have went through all the stuff.
Right.
And like,
without the interruptions, we still wouldn't gotten through it. But it's okay because this is like a one-off, like the one long episode.
Listen, this is a big one though, because you chose to have a baby, go through freeze your eggs, chose to have a baby on your own, leave a business, have your own business, you
raise a baby,
and you had hurdles to jump over, and you now have a baby. Like,
and so wait,
he's how old? I'm sorry.
He's 12 weeks now.
Okay.
So when this comes out, I don't know how old he'll be, but he's 12 weeks today.
And he's really cute.
I can't wait to meet him. Yes. I'm gonna meet him.
Yes.
You're gonna meet him. Yes.
Okay, wait. Also, just we could do the final button. I know that there was a couple other things that we wanted to touch on, but my final button that I feel like I want other women to hear is like, you can do it on your own. That inspiration of like, hey, it's never too late but you can plan and prepare, and your reasons why.
Yeah. So I definitely think you can do it on your own. I think you do have to be organized and have some sort of a support system, because doing it on your own isn't really like being alone all the time. You have other help. But it is possible.
I meant without the man.
Yeah.
We don't need no mans.
But so that's a good point, because a lot of the reason why I did this, I always knew I wanted to be a mom. And I was getting older, and I was like, okay, this is to put my body through that. If I want to carry my own child, this is the time to do it. But I also don't want it to be misconstrued like, oh, if you do it on your own, you're so independent that you don't need or want or anything else. And I don't think that's the case. For me, I was excited to do this on my own because now I'm like, okay, the pressure of having a child is off the table when I do meet the man of my dreams, right? So
it's not like you immediately have to be like,
right,
put a baby in me.
Right.
Chicken baby.
Yeah.
So it's like I can date whoever I want now. There's no pressure to, we have to have a baby. I'm lucky I've got no baby daddy drama in this scenario. It's just me. So that was my reasoning. Every woman has their different reasons for it.
And you wanted a baby.
And I wanted a baby.
It happen.
Yeah.
Honestly, a round of applause on so many ways. I know I've said it many times. It's not only inspiring, but it's admirable.
Yeah.
You know,
like I wanted to be a mom my whole life. That's literally what I identified myself as, and I really think about, like, I always thought you have to have your man to have your baby. Yeah. So it's
Go
now
science.
I'm like, I have my baby. I don't need much. Just kidding.
I mean, you do need a man in some regard to have the baby.
No.
But
I mean in the sense like yes.
Yeah.
Again, it's all really funny because it's the truth. Like, I know one of the things I will point out, Nikki, like the way that you've been talking, it's like, this is my story.
Yeah.
It's my journey. It's been my thing. Every woman is different, and it's important to say because it's different. Every case will be different.
Yeah.
She went through hurdles. It was not all picture perfect, and in any case, it could be, it can't be, it won't be, it will be. It doesn't.
But you can do it.
You can do it.
And if I can just say one more thing.
No, please.
When I did finally announce I was pregnant and I kind of shared a bit of my story on my Instagram, I had so many women reach out to me, women that I know, but like we didn't talk about this subject, saying like, oh my God, I went through something similar, or oh my God, I would love to do it on my own, but like I didn't really know where to start. Mm-hmm. And it really sparked having this conversation more. Which I was really grateful for. Again, part of the surprise to how supportive people were to me, but it really sparked conversation with other women that were thinking about this, and I was really grateful for that.
Yeah, girl, welcome to the community of the mom. Like, it's weird. You don't even hear about it.
After you have your baby, like the moms, the outpouring of love, like that helped me so much.
Yep. Totally agree.
Yeah. And that just goes to show that this community of mommies and the motherhood like whatever the word is, I can't think of words are hard all the time.
World of mothers.
The world of mothers. I don't know. The mom collective group. It's like, it's so supportive. And it really makes you like excited and not feel alone. So thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me. I've been dying to do this. So
I know.
Thank you.
Because once I found out, I will just end my note on this. Once I found out she was pregnant, the first thing we did was talk about it. She was, I listened to all of them. And I was like, yes, now I can have this. But I didn't know the whole story. And
no, none of us did. I didn't. And I'm so again, thank you. It's educational. It's inspiring. It's everything that we want on Talk Baby to me. It's real. It's raw. It encompasses what we want to show other mommies and let other mommies hear. So thank you so much for coming. And if anybody wants to hear more about your story, your social media, give us all of it. Yeah, on Instagram, I'm at Nikki Bills. Nikki that's why she's Nikki Bills. Nikki Bills. Literally, that's what everybody calls her. All right, thank you so much, you guys. Thank you. Make sure to follow, like, subscribe, comment, all the things. We love you. Baby to me, PC. Bye. Thank you guys so much for listening. You can stay in touch with us on Instagram at TalkBabyToMePC and our YouTube at TalkBabyToMePodcast. And listen to us on Apple and Spotify or anywhere you get your podcasts. Thank you. Thanks.